Maybe. Alright. So I thought today, before we jump into like some co-op games or something, we can talk about throwing grenades. So grenades are one of those finicky things. If you can throw them, they are a really big asset to your team, and they can really help you out as an individual player. But if you mess up your throw, they can wipe your whole team. So you got to be careful with them, but they can be a great help. Smoke grenades have gotten a really big buff as far as being able to essentially blind any enemies near them. So, kind of give you a taste for what that looks like. Go ahead and use your trigger to pull the pin, and you can throw it like this and it'll go off, or you can click your thumbstick on your grenade hand and pop the spoon off, and that'll cause it to go up a lot faster. So essentially, this is what it looks like in smoke, even though to the people outside, it doesn't look like this at all. It just looks like I'm holding the smoke, and it kind of looks like that. It looks like me on that side. So, it's dangerous for people all around the smoke now. Your optics don't see. Okay, maybe that's an update. 1.81 did just come out, so I guess they fixed that where if you were aiming across the smoke, you couldn't see anything. But essentially here, I can't see really out too far. Now, the smoke just died off, but you could tell before then, to everyone else, I'm out in the open. But to me, I can't see anything, which is kind of broken. But let's talk about throwing them while he boots up. So one thing that's troubling for new players is judging kind of how to throw the grenade, and especially how to get the range on something. So one good tip is kind of hold your hand out at like kind of a 45-degree angle from the, like this is 90, this is 0, kind of have it in the middle here, 30 to 45 degrees, and then place your target, in the web of your thumb and index finger. And then kind of get a line up, come back, come forwards, and let it go. And that'll give you kind of approximate range. That kind of bounced a little bit, but this is pretty good. If you want to look at throwing all the way out there, that'll get you in the ballpark of it. But Onward also goes up with force, so if you like flick it, you can get it pretty far. So you don't have to do the big behind you, basically all the way back and then all the way forwards. That just sends it up in the air. Now, that's actually good if you want to, go for range. You can go a little bit further than the flick method, but also eats up time. So if you want to throw a flash high up in the air and air burst it, which means it'll get anybody like kind of around the area, because typically if you, like say you throw a flash behind and it lands right there and somebody can't see it, they're not going to be affected by it, versus if you toss it up in the air, they get flashed. Frags can kind of act the same way. It's a little bit harder to airburst a frag because their timer is a little bit different. But you could essentially have that go off in the air. We'll pop the spoon. Maybe they'll go off a little bit sooner. There we go. So before it even touches the ground, you can have a frag go off, so you can cook your frags. There is the football throw now. That is a valid option for tossing nades. You typically don't go as far, but it's really good if you are throwing behind cover, because when you're down low, it's kind of hard to range your targets, and when you do this, that kind of works. But with taller cover, you're more likely to hit it versus doing the overhand, which you can still wind up for the overhand. It works either way, but it's kind of like you range it, you come up, and then you drop and follow with this hand. That's a good way of getting your frags kind of where you want them.